My name's Forrest, Forrest Gump. I live in Greensboro, Alabama. One day, I heard this strange noise coming from our garage.
Hey, Dad, what was that?
I guess little Forrest heard it too.
I don't know, son. I'm gonna go check it out.
Okay, Daddy.
So I walked from the front of my house to the garage. When I opened the door, I saw something I had never seen before. There was a big machine with lots of little lights and buttons and stuff I couldn't figure out. There was a door, and I couldn't figure out what else to do with it, so I just walked right in. When I stepped outside, I was in a desert.
Hey stranger, you mind giving us a hand?
Okay,
What's your name?
Forrest Gump.
Nice name. I'm Jane.
I'm Mary.
I'm Sarah.
Nice to meet you, Jane, Mary, Sarah.
Listen here, Forrest. Last night some robbers came and stole our oxen right from under our noses. So we need help carrying the wagon. Would you mind helping us?
Well, okay.
Say, Forrest, how did you wind up in the middle of the desert anyway? Did you get lost?
I got in the big blue box, and I came here.
Sounds like a crazy story.
Why aren't there more people out here?
Well, we're in the wilderness and we're moving west.
No, I mean, why aren't there more people with us?
Well, some drowned and other people have starved to death.
You've been a great help today, Forrest. We can lay here tonight. Actually, we need to get some food for Mary. Would you like to go hunting with me?
We don't need to hunt. I got food right here.
What are those?
Fishes. Want some?
Sure. Mary, Sarah, dinner. What's Mary doing laying there?
Jane, she's gone.
Oh, well, we should pay our respects and bury her in the morning.
We was dead silent that night, not a word from anyone. I knew how they felt. I felt the same when Mama and Jenny died. They didn't show that they were sad, but I knew, and they knew. They just didn't show it. They were strong women, Sarah and Jane. We buried Mary the next morning. We said our respects, and Sarah and Jane didn't talk much. They just looked real sad. Then after walking for a while, we saw a town in the distance.
Look, there's a town.
Forrest, go run into the town and see if you can find my sister. She looks like this.
Okay.
Run, Forrest, run!
I ran into the town and found the curvy lady. I told her to meet up with Jane and Sarah, and then I found the machine again. So I got back in. Just like before, the lights started flashing and I didn't know what was happening. When I stepped out, I wasn't in the desert anymore. I was under a table.
I think I've almost got it. Just need a few tweaks.
It had happened again. I looked around and I noticed I wasn't outside anymore. I was in some sort of office type place with lots of books and little pieces of things everywhere. I don't know how I got there. Boy, I just remembered running and then ending up here. How did I get here?
Good heavens, you scared me. Don't sneak up on me while I'm working, boy.
I'm sorry, sir. I hadn't meant to frighten
It's
you.
quite all right. Why won't the vibrations in here work? They won't transmit properly. Everything appears to be in order.
Is this important?
Why, yes it is. This is just what I need. Thank you. Go run over to that cabinet and get the hammer for me, please.
Me?
Yes, well don't just stand there. What's your name, boy?
Forrest Gump.
Forrest, you say? Well, Forrest, if I'm correct, after I reattach this cork, we should be able to transmit my voice over this device into another one in a different room, and you'll be looking at the first telephone ever in history.
That don't look like any telephone I've ever seen.
Well, I should say not. This is the first.
Well, okay, sir.
I thought you said you were ready to go, Mr. Bell.
Almost, Mr. Watson. I just have a few more adjustments to make. Go back to the other room and wait for my call.
All right, I'll be waiting.
Hurry and get the hammer from the cabinet, Forrest. Excellent. Okay, and that should do it. Go into the other room now and get Mr. Watson and tell him to wait for my call.
Okay. Mr. Watson, the man in the other room told me to tell you to be ready for his call. Although I don't see why it's such a big deal. I get calls too sometimes.
Ah, but my boy, you've never gotten a call like this before. This is the first time the human voice will be transmitted over electricity.
That sounds interesting. I still didn't see what all the fuss was about, but I thought I shouldn't make fun of him for not getting a telephone call before. Maybe he didn't have many friends, like me. All I ever had was Jenny, but then she got sick and died.
This is it! Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you.
I can't believe it worked. You've done it. You've created the first telephone.
I know, I can hardly believe it myself after all this time. Quick, Forrest, run and go get some whiskey and glasses for us to celebrate. Run, Forrest, run!
Okay, I will. And I ran and ran and ran until I found that old machine. I didn't see anyone else around, and I didn't have any sort of clue of where to go or what to do next, so I opened the door and got back inside. The machine started flashing lights again, and things started whirring and beeping. I didn't quite know what to make of it. Then the whole box started shaking. I closed my eyes and tried to imagine where I would end up next.
Hey, Forrest! Forrest, could you come over here for a minute? I was just wondering, what team do you play for?
Well, I'm a peach.
See, I was just wondering why you weren't swinging the bat when we're 2 runs down. The whole team's depending on you. You gotta get your head in the game. Are you crying?
No.
Are you crying?
No.
Are you crying?
No.
Forrest, there is no crying in baseball. No crying. There is no crying in baseball. Get your head in the game.
Yes, sir.
Run, Forrest, run!
Look at this crowd! This is great! They're jumping, hopping, cheering, and they paid to get in. You did a fabulous job. I won't forget this. Thank you very much, Mr. Harvey. I appreciate it coming from you. But to be perfectly honest, I think the girls deserve most of the credit. Oh, they're great. Fortunately, we won't need them anymore. Do you want a peanut? What do you mean? What do you mean, what do I mean? We're winning the war! Our situation changed! Roosevelt himself said, men's baseball won't be shut down, so we won't need the girls next year. I love these girls. I don't need them, but I love them. Look at that. Come on, let's go. Oh, look at me, I'm full of peanuts. I've got peanuts all over myself. This is what it's gonna be like in the factories too, I suppose. Men are back. Turn in your rivets. We told them it was a patriotic duty to get out and go to work. When the men come back, they're sent back to the kitchen. Should we send the boys returning from war back to the kitchen? Come on, do you know how dedicated they are? What they go through? They play with sprained ankles, broken fingers. They ride a bus all night to play a doubleheader the next morning. I'll make it up to them. What, with Harvard bars? I'm getting tired of listening to you, Ira. I'd like your permission to take over the league. What? Do you understand? All of the owners are getting out. There's no point to it anymore. Just let them finish the season and that's it. I sold your product when there was no product. This is a product. There's no room for girls' baseball in this country. Once the war is over, they're through. I think you're wrong, and I'm gonna prove it to you, Mr. Harvey.
After hearing those two men finish their conversation, I decided to keep on running, mainly because I wanted to get out of the skirt. I was tired of people mistaking me for a girl. So I ran and ran and ran some more. Finally, I ended up back at the old garage with a strange machine in it. I didn't know what else to do, so I got right back in it. The machine started beeping and shaking again. I really hoped it would take me back home, but this time I found myself on board a train. The train was filled with a lot of people I didn't know. It reminded me of the time I got on the school bus for the first time.
No, dear, go ahead and have a seat.
Thank you, ma'am. My name's Forrest. Forrest Gump.
Nice to meet you. I'm Lillian, and this is my husband, Walter Disney.
What are you doing there, sir?
What? Huh? Oh, nothing. I'm just having some work troubles and I'm trying to solve them.
With a drawing? That seems odd.
I work as a cartoon animator, you see, and the company I work for is stealing one of my drawings and all of my employees. They offered me a job too, but I would have had to take a decrease in my lettuce.
Your what?
Lettuce, you know. Money?
Well, Mama always said there's only so much fortune a man really needs, and the rest is just for showing off.
Oh, Walt, that's what I was just telling you. Even this nice young man here thinks that you were being a little dramatic.
It wasn't the money, it was the fact that they took my drawing, all of my employees. That's just a bunch of horse feathers.
Why not go out on your own then?
Well, that's what I'm trying to do with this here drawing.
A cat? But not everyone likes cats. And if you're going to sell something, shouldn't it be something everyone likes? Or something cute enough to get past the people?
I think you're right. But what? My last cartoon character was a rabbit, so that's out. What else has the right combination of cute and fun?
Well, not a raccoon, because Mama would chase those off her back porch.
Of course not. How about a monkey?
No, that's just too close to human. Plus, I can't make a group of jungle animal friends that people would recognize. No, it has to be something that's available everywhere.
What about a mouse? Not a rat, but a little barnyard mouse.
That's perfect! Forrest, you're a goddamn genius. How's this?
Perfect, dear. But are you sure you want to do this? I mean, you don't have the staff or anything to make this.
You're right, but I need this. I'll see if any of the guys are willing to go out of their own, or if Universal has completely corrupted them.
My mama always said, you've got to put the past behind you before you can move on. I think that's what you should do, Mr. Disney.
Thanks, Forrest. Now what should we call this little sucker?
Well, his last name should be Mouse. So we should get an alliteration going to match.
Let's see. Mouse, M. Max, Marvin, Major, Michael, Milton.
Those seem kind of boring. I mean, Milton Mouse.
Fine, you're right. What about Mortimer? It's the bee's knees. I can imagine that lit up on screens everywhere.
Mortimer? That name sounds kind of evil.
What are you talking about? It's perfect.
Sorry, Mr. Disney, but what about Mickey?
Mickey. It's short, sweet, and cute. It matches the character sketch you just did. What do you think, honey?
Mickey. Mickey Mouse. I like it. Good job, Forrest.
Well, I didn't think I'd done anything too spectacular, but Mr. Disney seemed to think I had, so I just went along with it. Suddenly, the train stopped.
Why'd the train stop? This isn't where we get off, is it?
Sorry, folks. We seem to be having some technical difficulties. If you'd all just be patient, we'll be up and running soon enough.
After the nice voice stopped, I got an urge to run, for no particular reason at all. So I said goodbye to the nice couple who let me sit with them, and then started running again. I later learned that that man was very successful with his mouse, and that's all I have to say about that. I ran for a little while and then reappeared at that funny little machine, so I got back in, hoping that I could go home finally. That strange machine didn't take me back to Greenbow, or to Jenny, or to Little Forrest, but instead to a strange little diamond.
Whoa! Where did you come from?
I don't know. This has been happening a lot lately.
Like crazy, man. Want to come join us? Wait, you're not a red, are you?
A red?
Yeah, you know, like a communist? Because we don't like communists. We can't be hanging out with one of them.
No. I'm Forrest. Forrest Gump.
Far out. I'm digging the name. I'm Linda, and this is my friend Mary.
Righto.
It's nice to meet you.
So you want to come join us or not?
What are you doing?
What's it look like we're doing? We're doing the hand jive.
Oh, don't be such an actor, Linda.
I am not. Drop dead twice.
Not if I look like you.
So do you want to try it for us?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so here's what you do. Yeah, don't worry. You'll get the hang of it, Forrest.
It's all in the hips, Forrest. You gotta move the hips. Wow, cooking.
What does that mean exactly?
Wow, panic and a half.
Linda, I think he was serious. No sweat, Forrest. It means you're doing really well.
Give me 5.
Well, okay.
Ow! What are you doing?
I don't think you meant any harm by it, Linda.
Look, Forrest, I don't know what your problem is.
Whoa, Linda, cool it. Forrest, I thought it was a pretty cool move. Show me again. High five. Linda, I don't know what you're talking about. That didn't even hurt.
Well, that's because you were prepared for it.
I think this is a pretty cool move. Forrest, let's try it again, but this time up here. See, Linda? It's cool.
Whatever.
Don't mind her, Forrest. So what should we call this thing?
I don't know.
Well, I like it better up high than down low.
And we use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingers.
This is kind of hard.
Oh, come on, a high five. Just call it a high five. It's not that difficult to name.
What do you think, Forrest?
I mean, I guess.
Cool.
So where are you from, Forrest?
Greenbow, Alabama.
That's a long ways away from here, Forrest. How'd you get all the way up to California?
It's a long story and a long journey.
Far out.
Yeah, it is pretty far away.
That's not exactly what she meant, Forrest. But how did you get so far from home anyway?
Do you have one of those new cars? I think those are so cool.
No,
Then how do you get around?
I run. Actually, I should probably get going right now.
Okay, Forrest. But before you hit the road, one last high five. Bye, Forrest!
Run, Forrest, run!
And that was how I helped invent the high five. I'm not sure why we actually had to name it. I mean, it's not like people actually say high five before doing it. It just kind of happens. But the name seemed to make those two girls happy, so I just decided to go along with it. And so I ran and ran and ran all the way back to that old garage with a machine in it. I prayed really hard that this time the machine would take me home. I prayed so hard I didn't even notice the beeping and rocking on the machine. When I opened my eyes this time, I was so happy.
Daddy.
I was back in my home in Greenbow, Alabama. And then we sat on the couch, and I told him all the things I did and the strange people I met as I traveled through history.
You want a chest? Chest press. You want legs? Leg extension. You want a row? Seated row. Actually, the rowing machine is pretty good. Thanks to a nudge from Saturn. The time you score with your friends IRL will be way more fun.
IRL.
Only on the 15th. You can't hang out with your friends in real life anytime other than June 15th.
Okay. No?
Hey, my sister.
Wait a second, my BFF will finally split from the player she's been dating.
Wow.
It's okay to be secretly played. She deserves more.
Please.
What about you?
If you don't get help in a certain subject, your GPA could really suffer. Thankfully, the stars will lead you to a fun study group on the 6th. Join it.
For chemistry?
I don't know, son.
Whoa, freshman ears here, Tom.
Oh, Tom, you dirty mouth.
Son.
Hey, he's a freshman. It's okay.
Almost your son.
Oh no.
Do you have a moment?
No, I'm busy right now. Nailed it. Oh, crap.
Mr. Watson, you're the man.
I actually do a pretty good Mickey Mouse.
So,
Inside the vehicle at all
so for your monologue at the end,
Wait, I don't see him. I lost him in the... I was just kidding. When Tom is lost in the middle of the desert. I'm really
Honey, I'm home.
you're not creepy enough.
That was not creepy.
No, you gotta be like, okay, let me show you.
Don't trip over the door,
I will.
because I did.
Yeah.
Honey, I'm home.
Oh, that was creepy.
Hey,
Monster Mash.
hey.
Oh, I have that.
Hey, can I come out here?
No, Tom, we're all naked.
Oh, I'm
No,
too
seriously, can I
hand
come out?
jobbing.
Who says, Linda, cool it.
Yes.
I think it was
Oh,
actually
no, we get in your
Wait,
face,
Linda,
okay.
cool it.
Linda.
Oh, you use 1, si, song, sa, how, 5. I run. Actually, I should get going now.
I started laughing so much.
Fishes?